Okay, that worked. All right, go ahead and try to chat if you can. Lindsay, I got your remind post saying that it wasn't working. So I got that. See if anybody else is able. Okay, Evan can. Hello, Evan. That's good. Okay, Amanda can. All right, we're in business then. That's good. Rock and roll. Okay, so then let's jump right in. You guys, how this works like normal is that you come with questions and I provide answers. So yeah, I posted on the Remind app, Evan. I said if it doesn't work with your personal, then use, or doesn't work with the school one, then use your personal one, and that should work. So, and that goes for everybody. If you're here and you can't post, re-log back in with the same link on your personal account, and it should allow you to post. For some reason, the school account doesn't allow you to do that. So, okay. All right, so let's jump right in. The quiz tomorrow, 10 questions, is on the cell cycle. It's all 10 questions. All of them are multiple choice. And they are, let me see here. Here's what we can do, Evan. I can actually do them live for you, so we can go over each one as a way of getting ready. So let me see. Yep. Okay. All right. Yeah, really, guys, looking at the quiz, it's just, it's front and back, 5 questions on each side. I'm looking at these questions. I'm thinking that you guys have to do well. It's not, you know, it's big picture stuff. I really think that you guys can all do very well on this. Not that you have to, but I think you can do very well. The things you really need to focus on are what are the different phases, the different steps in the cell cycle, and what happens during each step. So I might ask you to pair 2 steps together, like what happens in S phase. You would need to tell me that. Amanda, there are no questions on the quiz that deal with spindle fibers or centrioles. You will not need to know that on the quiz. For reference, they are centrioles are organelles in animal cells that create the spindle fibers that allow for the chromosomes to move around during mitosis. But that will not be on the quiz. All right, then let's see. Let me find that handout I gave you guys earlier, and we can go over that. I think it was this one. If you guys can see that. Yes. So we can do this worksheet together as a way of reviewing. And I can walk you through that. And I can post it on the classroom when we are done. Sound like a deal? All right, let me see now. How can I do that? I could do it that way. That could work. Yeah, let's see if we can do that. Hang tight, guys. Let me see. Does this show us the smartboard? Yes, it does. This might just be crazy enough to work. Okay, hang tight. Okay, hey, there we go. Now we can fill it all out together. Perfect. Okay, yeah. And yeah. Okay, let me dim the lights so it's not so blindingly bright. Okay, poops, let's do this. All right, so some of you kind of already have done this before. You're familiar with it. So for you guys, huzzah. If that's not one of you, then follow along. I think everybody got this worksheet today, however. So, okay. Are you all looking along here with me? Yeah. Okay, good. Good. All right. Okay, so then let's look at question number 1. I don't know if you guys can read it from there. Let's get a little closer here. Boop. There we go. Okay. So if we look at cells A and F, actually, maybe I can make this better for you guys. Hang tight just a moment here. Okay, how do we rotate? Yeah, let's do like that. Okay. Yeah, that's a little better. Sure. Okay, great. Can you all see that well? We're good? Okay. So question 1, cells A and F shown in the earlier are part of the same phase, but just the beginning and end of that earliest phase. Yes, and as Natalie said, that is prophase. So if you look, A and F are both part of prophase. You can see prophase, it starts, there's a nucleus there at the beginning. You can see the nucleus, but you can also see the chromosomes. You can see the centrioles, and you can see the spindle fibers that they begin to make. And then the nucleus in F, you can see is breaking down. The chromosomes are visible, but they're not lined up yet. They're both part of prophase. So this first is prophase. Evan says it's pixelated. Is that true for everybody? There, is that better? It's also bright. There's a light shining right in the middle. Okay. Okay, Yeah, but it's not that bad. All right, well, let's muscle through. Number 5, it might be less pixelated if I zoom in a little bit. Number 5, which cell is in metaphase? You had to guess. Okay, if you all have it next to you, then you should be fine. Yeah, a bunch of random letters. You have a question. What's the question? SDFG, DSFG. What's your question? Well, while they're asking, we can just keep going. Yes, it is C. Metaphase is C. How did you know that it's C? Let's see. All right. SDFG, just so you know, YouTube shows me the email that this is linked to. So I will see you tomorrow and we'll have a little chat. But for now, you are gone. All right. Yes, because Natalie says they are in the middle, and that is correct. Chromosomes line up in the middle during metaphase. That is true. So if you see chromosomes in the middle there, which you do in letter C, that indicates that it's metaphase. So, okay. All right. Let's see. Next question. We have, which cell is in the first phase of M phase mitosis? We kind of already answered this before. Yes. Again, prophase is the first phase. So for number 3, that would be prophase. You could say letter A or F would be fine, but A is really the first one, so A would be the correct answer there. All right, number 4, in cell A, what structure is labeled X? You don't need to know that. That's the centrioles, right? So the centrioles. Letter 5 lists the diagrams in order from first to last. We'll go over that in a moment, Lily. Good question. Definitely something we can do, and I can make a chart for that. Okay, yeah, let's go over the sequences in order here. D is showing us interphase. I can see a full nucleus there, if you guys can see it. I can't see any chromosomes, so we're not in mitosis yet. This is where the cell normally is. So we could start with D. The cell begins in interphase, right? And then from D, we go to the first part of prophase, which is right here. So D to A. And then from prophase, this is the beginning of prophase. There's the next part of prophase. So D, A, F. After P comes M, P mat, metaphase, C. So D, A, F, C. And then after metaphase, chromosomes get pulled apart, which is E, D, A, F, C, E. And then after E, you have telophase, which is B over here. T for 2 nuclei. You guys can see there's kind of 2 nuclei in one cell, hasn't fully divided yet. So that's telophase. So DAFCEB is the correct answer there. Are the cells depicted here plant or animal cells? What do you guys think? Yeah, they are animal cells. And how do we know that these guys are animal cells and not plant cells? Is there a way to tell? Yeah, they're animal, and there is a way to tell. It is because of their shape. Animal cells are kind of squishy, circular in general, and plant cells we describe as being not so squishy, not so circular. They don't have a cell wall. What shape do plant cells typically have? Square. Yep. They're rectangular, squarish, right? They're boxy little boxes. Plant cells are like little boxes. So let's move over to the whiteboard over here. And we can write down a chart to help us remember the different phases and what's going on in each phase. Okay. So phases of the cell cycle. We said the cell spends most of its time in this phase. What is the beginning phase that the cell spends most of its time in, guys? Help me out here. This one's for you, Lily. Interphase. Yes, interphase. So we start with interphase. And interphase is broken down into 3 smaller phases. The first of which is G1 phase. So G1. And as our friend Belichick says here, it's when the cell grows and develops. And that is correct. Cell grows. And then after G1, where do we go? Yep. Mia says S phase, and that is correct. S phase. And then G2. Now, what happens in S phase and what happens in G2? Then is S phase. Let's write this in orange. S phase is when what is happening? DNA is being copied. Yes, good. DNA is replicated. To replicate means to copy, right? Okay, good. And then after S phase, you can go to G2. And in G2, what is happening? There you go, Prashant. Yeah. Hey, John. Preparing for mitosis. Good job. Yep. In G2, the cell is getting ready for mitosis. Correct. It's also double checking everything, making sure that the DNA was copied correctly. It's just kind of checking to make sure it can move on. It does also grow a little bit too. Yeah, in G2, the cell does grow just a little bit more. Okay. So that makes up interphase. And then after interphase, you go to what? What did we get ready for in G2? What did the cell prepare for? Come on. Yep, good job. Mitosis. So step 1, interphase. These 3 things happen. Step 2, mitosis. And mitosis is broken down into 4 steps. And remember, what was the thing I said you guys should write down on the top of your quiz as soon as you get to school tomorrow, or as soon as you sit down to take it tomorrow? What 4 letters? PMAT. Don't forget PMAT. Please do that. I promise you it'll help. Good job. Yeah, PMAT. There it is. Good, good, good. Okay, and PMAT, each letter represents a phase in the right order. So first letter P, what phase is that? Prophase is P. Good. P is for prophase. And then who can tell me what happens? How do you know you're in prophase? If I show you a bunch of pictures of a cell, how would you know which one's in prophase? What are some of the key characteristics of prophase? Sure, let's write down the phases and then we'll describe what happened. Yes, good job, Mia. Prophase is the only time, or it's the first time you get to see chromosomes visible. What are some other things? Because let's be honest, chromosomes are visible in all 4 of those phases. It's where they are that's the giveaway. So where are the chromosomes in prophase compared to the other ones? They are visible, Evan, but where are they? That's the trick. Let's move on to metaphase because that one's easier. In metaphase, M chromosomes can be found, as Mia said, in the middle. So chromosomes line up in middle. All right. So we got metaphase. Anaphase is also pretty easy to spot. It's only prophase and telophase that are probably going to be tough for you guys. Yeah, and okay, you can see chromosomes, but they're still in a nucleus. The nucleus might start to break down, but you can still see it there. So in prophase, chromosomes are visible, but they're also inside the nucleus. You can still see the nucleus is kind of there. So nucleus begins to disappear. So you can see chromosomes, you can also see a nucleus. That's the big way to see prophase. And here's an example. If you guys look at the picture, look, I see chromosomes, but I also see a nucleus. That's how I know I'm in prophase. Let's look over on this side. I know this is still prophase because look, I see chromosomes, but I can still see the parts of the nucleus there, those kind of dark lines that make up a ring like that. I can still see the nucleus kind of there. So that's how we know those are in prophase. I have chromosomes, but I can see a nucleus, okay? Good. And then chromosomes line up in the middle in metaphase. Anaphase, how is it easy to spot? What's the secret for spotting anaphase? Where are the chromosomes? What are they doing in anaphase? A for away. They're being pulled away, split apart. Good job, Gujas. So chromosomes get pulled apart to opposite sides of the cell. All right, so chromosomes get pulled apart to opposite sides of the cell in anaphase. And then telophase, T for who? Telophase, what's going on? Good. T for two nuclei in telophase. 2 nuclei appear on either side of cell around chromosomes. Okay, sounds good. You see 2 nuclei in the same cell. right? So in telophase, there are two nuclei on the same cell. If you look at the picture, telophase, letter B, look, two of these nuclei starting to come back, chromosomes around inside their new nuclei. You can also see the cell looks pinched. It's beginning to split, right? We're in telophase here. Good. Okay, and then that leads us to the last step in all of this, kind of its own thing. This process known as, we can put it as 3, because why not? The very last thing to get you to 2 individual cells. What's that process called? Cytokinesis. Cyto meaning cell, kinesis meaning movement, cytoplasm, that's cell liquid. Kinesis, think kinetic, think telekinesis, moving things with the mind. So that is when the cell is moving. And by moving, we mean splitting. So this is when the cell divides everything equally into each half and splits. Okay, so Lily, there's your chart. There you go. That's everything. If you know this, you're going to get, I don't know, 8 out of the 10 questions right. If you memorize all of that. And if you can look at a picture, that's the big thing. If you can look at a picture and you can determine what phase is the cell in by the description and by looking at the picture, you're going to get most of those questions right. Okay? Let's think about mitosis in general, guys. Quick question. I didn't necessarily go over it too much with you, but how many chromosomes are there in your average human cell? Like in my skin cells of my face, how many chromosomes are in each of those cells? You got 23 pairs. It's okay. You got 23 pairs, and each pair has 2. So 23 times 2 makes 46, right? That's why there's that website called 23andMe. That's reference to the 23 pairs of chromosomes that you have. So you got 46 chromosomes in your cell. So if my skin cell in my face has 46 chromosomes, it does mitosis. I have 2 skin cells. How many chromosomes are in each of those cells now? My first individual skin cell had 46 chromosomes. It does mitosis. I've got 2 skin cells now. How many chromosomes are in each of those 2 skin cells? I'm seeing some interesting answers. Logan says twice as many. Natalie says half as many. But what's the trick? If you're going to make new cells, what should they definitely be? They better be what? Identical, right, Mia? You want to make in mitosis identical cells. All those cells need to be the same. Otherwise, you're not going to be you anymore before too long, right? Mitosis makes identical cells. So if my first cell had 46, my new cells better darn well have 46 too, right? I shouldn't have twice as many. I shouldn't have half as many. I should have exactly the same amount, right? So I start with 46, my cell does S phase, copies the 46 into 92, and then divides in half. 92 by half is 46 again. So the cells go back down to 46 chromosomes, right? So if you start with 46, you end with 46. Okay, that's a big picture question. Make sure you remember that. Yeah, that should about do it. I think that's everything. Looking at the quiz, we've gone over everything I should expect you to know. Any other last questions? Evan, I kind of went over all the things that you're going to need to know. There's no extra curveballs or anything like that. So you should do it. If you watch this video, if you write down the stuff that I put on the board, although you guys have been writing this down over and over again for, the couple days before break and now today, this should be in your notes at least in 3 or 4 different ways at this point. So, but yeah, explicitly, this is really the stuff you need to know. Okay. Then if there's nothing else you guys need to ask me or anything like that, if you ever think to thank Mr. Ahern for staying late and doing this stuff with you, remember he doesn't like cookies or candy. He likes cheese. Just a thought, if at the end of the year you're like, biology was fun, Mr. Ahern's great, I'm going to get him cheese. Yeah, cheese is good. Okay. You guys rock. Crush this quiz tomorrow. I'm proud of all of you. You're great people, and I can't wait to watch you grow up and graduate high school and move on to better things. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay. Take her easy.